Can you be visible without being inauthentic and sleazy? You know, many women in leadership find themselves with this really genuine dilemma, and they want to be more visible. They recognize the importance of having more gravitas and influence and what that means to their career, but they're unwilling to do it in a way that is inauthentic. And often they really believe that in order to be visible, they need to have a personality transplant. So they'd rather not do it at all. Now, I get why you might think that, though, because you may have seen colleagues who have built their reputation and career in a way that is very inauthentic. You may have seen how bosses behave a certain way when they're with you, and then they completely change when they're with their leaders. You may have also really felt the pressure to behave or act in a certain way when you're around specific people at work. And a lot of the expert advice that is given out there sometimes can be a little bit bro leadership focused, and can convey some ideas around how you should show up that might not align with you. And so therefore you would say, well, if the experts are saying this, therefore that's what matters and that's what works, and therefore I'm not going to do it. But surely this cannot be the only way for you to be visible, right? Like, there are amazing leaders who have climbed the ladder up, successfully in business or in the corporate world, that have strong values and they're not inauthentic. I personally have worked with amazing leaders who have a solid value-led compass, people who refuse to do things like everybody else, and they're not inauthentic. You may encounter people like Seth Godin, who have paved the way in the marketing world. He's called out the BS and he doesn't compromise, yet he's still very visible in an authentic way. So being inauthentic has no direct link with visibility. You can be inauthentic without being visible, and you can be visible without being inauthentic, and you can be visible without having to change your personality, even if that's all you see, around you in your company or that kind of stuff. So how can you be visible in a way that aligns with your value, that feels right for you? Well, you become a legendary leader. And so I'm going to share what that involves. I'm going to give you 3 ideas that will help you understand how you can achieve that. So the first one is to become super aware and clear of what authenticity means for you. You discover this by knowing your values, by understanding and discovering your own strengths, by learning how to articulate what authenticity is to you in a very concise way, right? So that you can be clear on what authenticity looks like in your specific life, actions, behaviors, etc. I invite you to discover your own voice, right? Many people cannot tell me with precision what they believe, what energizes them, what makes them unique. Like, they don't understand themselves. They're not able to tell me with words what authenticity means to them and what it looks like in their personal lives. And if authenticity is just a concept in your mind and it's not tangible, you can't articulate it, it's not real, right? And you won't be able to achieve it whether you're visible or not. The second idea that I wanted to share with you is that it's important that you embrace a strategy for your visibility, or rather, should I say, be okay with the idea of having a strategy for your visibility. Stop thinking that having a visibility is inauthentic and sleazy, right? If I tell you, okay, so let's talk about the definition of a strategy. A strategy is a plan of action that is designed to achieve a long-term or goal or an overall aim, right? So if I tell you that you need a strategy for running a marathon, for example, you'll say yes. The strategy would look like this, like, first you change the way that you eat and how your behaviors in general. You would run 2 kilometers, then you would stretch it to 5 kilometers until you can reach 10 kilometers. And that's a strategy for getting ready for a marathon. You would say absolutely yes. If I tell you that your company needs a marketing strategy to reach its goals, you would say absolutely yes. Otherwise, of course, there's no way that you can reach your business goals if you don't have a marketing strategy. If I tell you that you need a strategy for getting your team to work well together and to be more productive, of course, you'll say yes. But when I say to people that they need a marketing strategy for their visibility, they don't like it, right? They're like, oh no, I don't want to do that. So a strategy for your visibility is about being intentional about how you show up, becoming aware of the key moments that you need to be prepared for so that you can face them with power and with poise, right? It's you either prepare for how you're going to feel, what you're going to say, how you're going to show up before those key moments, right? Before they happen. Or instead, you end up replaying the moments in your mind after they happen, ruminating on what you could have said, but you didn't say because you were not prepared. So being strategic about your visibility allows you to be intentional and to bring the real you to the table rather than showing up with unprepared responses that you regret afterwards. The third thing I wanted to say is understanding the power of a network. So often I speak to women about, their network and networking, what that represents for them. And I find a lot of resistance because people think that they need to also be sleazy to have a network. But having people who know you, who trust you, who have your back, and who are willing to say good things about you when you're not in the room is absolutely essential to help you move forward in your career. Visibility is about people seeing you, right? It's you want people to see you as you are, but in order for them to see you, there has to be a willingness from your side to let them, or be willing for them to see you as you are as well, the real you, right? And that takes a little bit of work that you can work through in coaching. And so you will achieve way much more and way much faster if you have a network of people who have your back, who are willing to support you and open doors for you. But you must be prepared to establish meaningful relationships with people so that happens, right? Really meaningful relationships with purpose. And a network will provide you opportunities. It will support you when you need support. You'll get, feedback, you get accountability, and that is very needed for your progress. And needless to say that a network also is amplified when you have a coach, when you have a mentor, and when you have a sponsor inside your company. Okay, so let me ask you, is it time for you to stop thinking that visibility equals inauthenticity, right? Like, it's not the same thing. Is it time for you to let go of this idea as an excuse or a reason for you to stop hiding? Is it time for you to find your own voice and articulate what authenticity means to you so you can walk in authenticity inside and outside of your visibility sphere? And is it time for you to be willing to let others see you as you are and to build a network so that you can go to your next level in your leadership? So if your answer is yes to all these answers, send me a direct message with the word visible so we can start a conversation about how my leadership transformation program could help you or your team expand your visibility in a very genuine and authentic way. All right, bye for now.